Hey, Ivan from the EV Stock Channel here, doing a two-part series. Part 1 covering third quarter US auto and EV sales, and then part 2 which will cover how Tesla compares to legacy auto in terms of financials now that earnings have been reported. But before we begin, thank you to all the Patreons that support the channel, and as always, all content is my opinion only and not financial advice. The first chart we're going to look at is Q3 EV sales in the United States, and I feel like I've said this 1,000 times before. Tesla is dominating the market, capturing 64% of total EV sales. The Model Y and Model 3 are in a league of their own, while Model X and S sales are right up there. In third place, the Chevy Bolt is recovering after their major recall, while Ford is starting to make some progress with the Mach-E and the F-150 Lightning, but let's see how fast they can ramp. Next up, let's have a look at how some of these companies have fared in Q3 when looking at total sales. Starting with Tesla, which had record output from both the Fremont and Texas factories, and with record output comes record deliveries in the United States. Meanwhile, Ford sold around 444,000 vehicles, and the numbers are trending up slightly, but Ford is still around 100 to 150,000 sales down per quarter since the COVID outbreak. Interestingly, Mach-E sales were around 500 units lower in Q3 compared to that of Q2, while the E-Transit and the Ford F-150 Lightning are still in early stages of ramping. Also note, only 2.5% of all Ford vehicles sold in the United States were EVs, and while that number might look small, keep in mind that's still light years ahead of some other legacy autos that will be mentioned later on. Moving on to GM, and just like Ford, sales are creeping up slowly, but still down on 2019 levels. As mentioned before, we're seeing sales of the Chevy Bolt recover following their major recall, with 14.7 thousand vehicles sold in Q3, and GM has stated that their goals for 2023 are to sell 70,000 Bolts. Let's see how that plays out. GM also did sell small numbers of their GMC Hummer and Cadillac Lyriq, and in total, about 2.7% of all US sales were EVs, so like Ford, still a long way to go. Moving on to Toyota, which seems to be going sideways in the last 4 quarters. I mean, they have no EVs in the US market. The BZ4X was recalled due to the risk of the wheels potentially falling off, while their hydrogen car, the Toyota Mirai, sales slumped from 728 sales in Q2 to just 79 in Q3. Then we have Honda, which is really struggling in the United States, posting their worst quarter in a really long time. They also didn't sell any EVs, but maybe someday they will. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So in summary, when we compare total auto sales from Q3 of 21 to Q3 of 22, Tesla had the highest growth rate of 34.6%, while Ford grew sales at 11.1% and GM at 24.2%. Toyota was down 19%, and Honda a whopping 34.8%. Q4 is definitely going to be interesting, so I'll look forward to that. So that wraps up US auto sales for Q3. In the next episode, we'll compare financial earnings for Tesla, Ford and GM, so stay tuned for that. And till next time, have a great day.